bit of extra excitement. So
this time we wanted to save the moment for this, so we've been waiting the whole tour to play the song.
Yeah.
A lot of people asked for it, and today we'll get it for the first time.
I mean, we wrote the song almost a year ago by now.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time waiting to play it live. So we are both excited and, to be honest, a little bit nervous as well.
Hi. Why did you start getting interested in Serbian history, and what is it about it that inspires you the most?
Well, when it comes to the history, it's we can't know the world's history, so it's actually Serbian people who sent us emails or given us books when we were here on tour. So for me and Pat, when we saw this, I mean, he's got a library of how many ideas by now?
Tens of thousands.
Yeah. And actually, we only needed to read Gavrilovic's speech. Then already we knew that.
This is a song.
Yeah, this is a song. Sorry for my anger, but fuck, this is inspiring, you know?
You have a lot of fans here. How do you feel?
Very happy because they're very crazy. I like that.
It's a great thing. A lot of bands we meet, they are just like Serbia. They don't really go here on tours. And for us, this has been a natural stop on almost every tour since 2007.
10 years ago we were here the first time.
So, well, some other bands have never been even here, and I don't really understand, well, they don't understand what they have been missing, because some of our best shows ever have been here. And at the moment we are just a four-piece here. Of course we do have a drummer with us, but he is not original band member. He's home with his wife, getting a kid at the moment. And it was his biggest regret that he's gonna miss this show. This was the one he was looking forward, because we were here not so long ago. It was already about a year ago we were in Belgrade already. And by then that was probably the best show on the whole tour. That crazy. It was a smaller place than this, completely sold out, packed, and it was absolutely amazing atmosphere. And this is what we have in mind when we booked this show, and when we are coming here, this is what our last impression of Belgrade is, this show a year ago. And with this in mind, yeah, and we have our drummer back home who's like, guys, I so want to be with you today, but yeah.
No, baby is supposed to come today, actually.
Actually today.
Yeah. So
we will see.
If it comes out really quick, maybe he'll get on the flights and come.
Yeah.
His wife will kill him, but he will be happy.
Okay, I have one more question. How did you learn about Sanya, the girl from Quiz that answered the question about your band?
There was people from our fan club who posted the video clip about the first time when the song appeared in the quiz, and I was like, wow, how does these people from this quiz choose a song by Sabaton? Wow, that's cool.
Unexpected.
And okay, very unexpected, because we are not usually part of anything outside of the heavy metal media, so we were happy with that. And we thought, okay, so we cheer her up a little bit, wish her good luck, and hope she wins, and which she did. So.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Me. The main thing about Sabaton, for me personally, and I guess the fans, is are extremely cool history lessons. What made that the main inspiration, and not the more conventional metal themes like we're so effing tough or whatever?
I mean, we used to have that. If you go back, into '99, we would sing about the typical heavy metal subjects: riding bikes, drinking beer, having sex with women, whatever it was, But we had this song, the music to a song called Prima Victoria. And when it was you and me who sat down, I think it was in 2003 or 4, and we were writing the lyrics, and we realized it's a powerful song. We shouldn't sing about drinking beer to this song. So we decided to do that about the Allied landing at Normandy Beach, and about D-Day. And all of a sudden, writing lyrics was even more interesting for us again. Because before it felt like, we need to write some lyrics, the music was important. All of a sudden, the lyrics became just as important as the lyrics. So we just said, hey, maybe we should do a whole album about military history. And that was the album Prima Victoria. And then we're going to make another album, and we said, well, we like this, the people who listen to us seem to like it, we should do it again.
Now we're kind of stuck with it, and we have
15 years later, we're still doing it.
And it is still the most interesting topic we could ever think of.
And another question about a certain song, Last Dying Breath. Warrior tradition of the Serbian people is one of its most defining traits for us. So, what can you say? Can you say anything more particular, anything more about that song? Because for us, it made a huge impact here in Serbia and outside of the metal community also.
First of all, it's sad that you say that war is your trait.
No, warrior tradition. I mean, it's not a negative thing. Yeah.
But we know that there's so much. Your country has been in the center of conflicts for so many years, and there is so much history here. And this was just one out of many topics we could have chosen from this specific country and the region. But this was the perfect fitting for this theme. We had the idea of...
I mean, the album is Last Stand, and I think that is one of the most impressive ones in history. Of course, the first thing you think about when you think about a Last Stand is probably the Battle of Thermopylae with the Spartans, of course.
Yeah.
But there are so many other just as impressive ones that aren't so famous. And that's one thing we usually try to look for, is there a story that is just as good but not as famous as some of the big battles. So from a point of view, I guess everybody who even went to school in Serbia knows exactly what happened. But let me tell you, we are interested in history, and until we got those emails, we never even heard about it. So every country has its own history. So in a sense, we didn't write the song specifically for you guys, because you know about this already. We wrote it so everyone else who hasn't heard about it can get to hear about that.
That's a good thing to hear.
And the topic came to our attention many years ago, and we have been discussing this for a long time already before.
Before Heroes, at least.
Yeah. When we were doing Carolus Rex, we already had this idea, but we knew, of course, it cannot be a part of Carolus Rex because it's
Swedish Empire.
So it's not really can be a part of that album. But ever since, on Heroes we thought about it, but not really perfectly fitting in. So then we thought, okay, Last Stand, there we go.
And The Last Stand is your 8th album, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me, what is more difficult, to write a first album when you have more inspiration but less experience, or now when it's reversed?
It's a mix of both, actually. It is harder because I know intellectually it's not possible that every song you make is going to be the best one according to everyone. But emotionally, that's what we're trying to do, you know. So we are always competing against the best of, not one single album, but we compete the best of our catalog in our heads, but also in our listeners' heads. And that is starting to write a new album becomes harder and harder every time. Coming up with ideas might be, as you said, getting a little bit trickier. On the other hand, if you have the great idea, we've been doing Sabaton songs of ideas for 18 years now. We know how to make a Sabaton song out of an idea. So that has become easier. But I guess it's the start, until we have the first couple of songs and we feel, yeah, this is gonna work. Then it's when it's getting easier again. But it's like walking into a wall, honestly. Every time you start writing an album, it's like, boom. And you try everything, and you feel like everything is good, but nothing is really that good, and you have to struggle for a while. But there's always, at a certain point, when you get that one song, yes, this one belongs there in the top. And then it loosens up a bit.
And this is a perfect segue for my final question. The metal community, the bands, I mean, we are kind of struggling here in Serbia. So what would you say to inspire young bands here that maybe from their perspective don't have a lot of opportunities?
Never give up. Honestly, everybody has a dream of who's playing music to become a musician making a living out of it. And even if it's fast, it's going to take many years. So actually, if you believe in it, if you really love it, stick with it. Because changing bands, changing band names, changing musical style nobody will ever get to know you. It takes many years of touring until people start to recognize the name, until you found your own sound. I've seen many fantastic musicians and nice people give it 3-4 years, and then now that didn't work out. On to the next. And I'm quite sure if we would have done that, we wouldn't be where we are today.
We are 18 years as a band now, and that's more than half of my life. So, and a lot of times there was like, it's not really loosening up, it's not getting there, but we always kept the focus.
Thank you very much.
I'll choose the right to ask you one question in the name of Dan. A lot of fans really greeting you for having Accept as a special guest, because you mentioned many times how many times you were influenced by all the band, and you that way give new generation a chance to hear all the great hits we were growing up to. So also, thank you again in the name of Accept fans, because this is the first time they will play here. And how did you choose them to be a special guest on this tour?
Well, the first time we toured with them properly was 2011. And they invited us to be supporting them in America, and we grew up listening to them. I love their music, and just as you said, we've been talking since 2011 about doing something together, and always timely, you know. Now we're on tour, you want to join? No, we can't, we're recording an album, so the timing never fit until now. But I totally agree, that's one of the greatest kickers for everyone, that there's a whole bunch of younger metalheads who didn't have the chance to discover Accept. And actually, sometimes the other way around as well. There's going to be a little bit older generation who maybe not have heard about Sabaton. So I guess it's a win-win. And I think Accept is one of the greatest touring bands.
And today it's even special because Accept has never been to Serbia. In 40 years as a band, they've never been here, which is concerning to us. We have been here many times in our 10 years. Yes, exactly. And this is the 5th time I think we played Belgrade.
Fifth time.
5th time, yeah. So, and they have never been here. So, this is that will be very special for them.
Well, I'm a fan of a band ever since I was a teenager. So maybe a little bit of a question that's a bit cliche, but can each of you guys maybe tell me your favorite songs from the catalog and maybe rate your albums, like where the last one stands in your discography? To me personally, it's this one and Carol's Rex at the top, but...
Okay. Of our own music, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're asking me to rate my children?
Yeah, we all have favorite children.
Oh yeah, it's hard to tell the other children they're useless though, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Should I start?
Yeah, let me start.
Oh man, the whole catalog. It's a very hard one. To play it live, I think Into the Fire is a really good song. I love that because it has the speed and has the power and everything. And if I have to listen to a song, I think it has to be... That's a hard, that's a tricky one. Wolfpack, I think. Wolfpack.
Great song.
Yeah. Old school style.
Me personally, I have the most emotions towards the song Prima Victoria. It was the song that convinced me to believe in it so much that we could be here today. And as musical preference to listen to, I would love the album Carolus Rex at the moment.
Okay.
For me it's, well, I would agree with Per. Prima Victoria emotionally has the biggest impact on me. The song that makes me smile most every time we play it live though is probably To Hell and Back. I really, something about the good vibe that's coming with that. When it comes to the albums, I have a really hard time, you know, being so involved in the songwriting of every one of them. It's a very hard thing to look at the most latest albums, because it usually takes a couple of years until I can look back on them and may give an objective point of view, you know, or as objective as I can be. But from an album standpoint, I actually think Carolus Rex, for example, has some really high peaks. But I'm not actually so 100% sure that the average is as good as The Last Stand or Heroes, for example. Because I think the average of those albums are a bit higher. I can honestly say though, I'm very proud and happy about all of them. And if I had to choose one, I'm not so happy about it's the first one, Metalizer. We haven't really found our own way there. We're not singing about military history. And I can certainly hear a lot of mistakes from us as very young, naive songwriters.
Well, for me, I think one of my favorite albums is definitely Coat of Arms, because that album was a huge inspiration to me when I was writing music on my own, to my own level, before I started to play with Sabaton. But I would say also The Last Stand is just fantastic. So I think Coat of Arms and The Last Stand is shared #1. And favorite songs, I have two which also share #1, and that is Coat of Arms and Aces in Exile.
Aces in Exile, pretty unexpected, but cool.
And I've got one surprise for you. This is the guy who is from working on the Radio 202. He's the radio which got to broadcast the nightly show. And you won 3 hits in a row in the total of the week. So he was presenting that.
1979, each week we choose the hit of the week. And you have 3 titles. Was I Breath, Sharana, and
The Last Battle, oh cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Voila.
Thank you very much.
That's for your
And I've got...
office.
Put it
Yes,
there
of
now.
course, it's for our studio.
Can I ask you one more thing? Can you just put it back so they can make a photo?
Yeah, of course. We'll